Hello, everybody, and welcome to it is live, a live version of the JeffMara podcast. I haven't done this in about 6 months or so. It's been quite a while, so I've kind of got to get back into the swing of things. And I first need to make sure that I can see you guys and we're all there together. And then I'll know if I'm live or not, which I'm not actually even seeing myself live. So I have a feeling that maybe I'm not live. It says that it's not, it's saying that I'm not. Oh, I am live? Okay, well, see, then that's good to know that I am live. Let me make sure over here so I can see myself live. And I need to be able to see the chat in case I have any questions for the guests. So bear with me for just a few moments. I'm just making sure that I can, get everything up and running properly and that it's all being seen. And if you want to join me, how to do that. See, it's not there. So let me just add this to that. I worked on it earlier. And sometimes, you work on stuff and it just doesn't work out for some reason. If that makes any sense. It just doesn't come together. So you have to, in live, fix everything. And that's what I'm doing. So let me click on live stream. And we've already got 3 people in there. And if you want to join me, all you have to do is you can use the Zoom link and you can use the Zoom link and you can use the passcode. So one last thing, I went to that and I have I try to do that as much as I can as far as correcting how to get in. Now, where do I go so I can see it? Because I want to see everybody live. Let me hit refresh. And let me click on that. And that should show us all live. All right, there we are. Hello, hello, hello. Bob Lazar called you. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, so again, if you want to join me, all you have to do is use the Zoom room ID and the passcode and you can get in. And we've already got 3 people here waiting to get in. So I think it's going to be a really busy night. And number 1 is Tim Tactics. So let's bring Tim in and see what he's up to. Says he's joining me. Waiting to get in. So I think it's going to be a really busy... Tim. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Great to see you,
Hello.
Tim. Great to see you,
Great
brother.
to see you too.
All right.
I was just watching you on my phone.
Yeah. It took me a while to set up because I haven't done this in about 6 months, and I set up the stream settings, but once I go live, they're like deleted. So I had to try to kind of cut and paste really quick before people start
Yeah, for
leaving.
a certain amount of time, you had a little mouse cursor in the middle of your
Yeah. I guess you can all see that I'm human. I'm not an ET. I do make mistakes.
He's telling that. At the same time, his craft is sitting with the garage.
So the latest I heard, you've been hanging out with Sammy Hagar and Chad from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. What have you been doing with all these rock stars?
That's a fair question. Also, I want to say hi to everyone in the chat because I know there's quite a bunch of people from the Osho Papelina community because I saw some messages like, "Hey, Tim's with Jeff." So, what can I say? Some people watch my stuff and the interviews and everything, and therefore I am now friends with some rock legends, and one of them is Chet Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers was like texting me a video message, which is on my channel, but yeah, that's how it goes.
That's awesome. You probably already know this, but one of the Van Halen songs is about Sammy's UFO sighting. Did he tell you about it?
Yeah, he was at my house. We were spending quite some time here, full week actually, and yeah, he was talking. He's a contactee, and
Really?
interestingly enough, which what combines or like connects us in a certain way is, as you know, I've worked with a blue being, which we in the project called Being Six,
Mm-hmm.
for the lack of a better word. And he reported that all his songs he got from a blue being that told
Really?
him at one point, yeah, he's supposed to be on planet Earth and delivering these things in order to raise the frequency, and so on. So yeah, that's a strong connection that we have.
That's fascinating that you say that because Van Halen in the David Lee Roth era was stuff like ain't talking about love, but Sammy's stuff was all love based.
Yeah, I gotta be very honest here. Like certain things about rock and roll music and some other things that I've observed so far. I personally, it's I don't know, but Sammy has his music is really really positive, and it's a joy. It's he makes life a road trip, and I appreciate that a lot.
Well, I also heard that you had contact with ETs at your Italian event. What happened?
Yeah. We did. Oh my gosh, Jeff. I gotta tell you that much. For everyone who doesn't know me, I used to work in the governance field, advanced projects. There was always investigations about what is happening with these ETs and so on and so on. So I have all this background information, and at one point, people always ask me, like, Tim, how can we contact ETs? How can we do it? And there is a very, the Germans and also the French and some other people in the 1910s, over 100 years ago, started figuring out how to contact other dimensions and other realities and so on. And they developed a very fairly simple apparatus, a very simple mechanic, but they used it. They used it in the war in order to figure out where U-boats are, submarines, and they also allegedly got a lot of information for some of the stuff that they were developing and so on from this type of device. Now, 100 years passed, and got the idea and thought like, hey, this still works. And interestingly enough, probably state-of-the-art technology for the norm stream because the real machines we don't have access to, as you know. So I was getting a laser engraver. I was getting some stuff. If you want to see how that goes, it's on my YouTube. But I built these things. And I selected a group of people, literally by their energies, and went through all the application and so on. Ended up with 18 people. We went to Italy in order to do that, could be any other country too. But the very moment when we set foot on Italy, a gigantic crop circle appeared in that area, which is very unprecedented for Italy. They don't usually, have these types of crop circles. They appear, but it's kind of rarer in this situation. Um, Everyone I sent the pictures of that crop circle to, they all agreed and said, texted me the same thing back, opening portals to other dimensions. Even ChatGPT, when I said like, if this is a message, what do you think it means? And ChatGPT was like, well, these are ancient geometries and they mean opening portals to dimensions. So that was like the big welcoming thing that happened. And the first day, we had 2 days in that week where we actually did the contact rituals together. We had a almost like a pyramid shaped tent where we did this stuff together. We had our device. First thing I was leading together with a group of selected people who we worked together with. And what can I say, Jeff? We made contact. The device was throwing out words. It was throwing out messages, almost like a stock ticker.
Hmm.
It came out of that. And it was amazing because it was an indigenous reptile species that was speaking to us. And now you might ask, what is
Well,
that indigenous?
yes, I guess he has been with us forever, or at least his tribe, right? If they're indigenous.
Yeah, now you might be laughing because the leader of that species is actually a female. So we made contact with her. And apparently, what happened, and from my background, I'm aware of that, but I've never had contact with them. We humans on this planet are quite new. It's not been a long time since they are here, but there have been other forms of life before here. We know about the dinosaurs, 160 million years. So basically, at that time, another cataclysm. We do know if you guys follow Jeff and Tim for Beyond the Stars. Playlist in his YouTube, you will know that there is a cycle of reoccurring cataclysmic events, let's put it that way. And every so often, a species vanishes from the planet and so on. We are currently in a phase where we make the next shift. And 100 million years ago, we had, the extinction of the dinosaurs, which scientists say meteor crashing into, somewhere the Atlantic Ocean, creating huge debris and so on. But the worst thing about that was like creating the heat that would, basically kill all surface animals and so on in a quick time. However, all beings that could go underground, they survived, which is one of the reasons why we still have cockroaches on this planet, and other animals too. Sharks, for example, survived the extinction of the whole planet. Why? Because they were underwater. Now, some dinosaurs, in this case, a reptile species, has made it underground too. People should know that the Earth is not solid. If you dig deep enough into that, there are cavernous structures all around. And these beings had more than 10 million, probably more years' time to develop their society, to develop in consciousness. And they're living with us on this planet. Most people have no idea that there is an indigenous reptile species that lives on planet Earth right now in cavernous structures, very, very deep underneath our feet. And we make contact. We were contacted not by anyone, but by their leader, which is a female, and she was lovely. It was an amazing experience. She said to us she knows what we do with All Chef Happily Now. She said she knows we do the meditations monthly on YouTube, and she said she personally and many of her species in her mind expanding the signal that we give in. She also said she has no hope for humanity, but that was her
Wow.
personal opinion.
Recently, I had a guest on from Sweden, and she talked about another extinction event that's coming. Have you heard about that? And is that part of shifting happily now?
Jeff, what can we say? I mean, science is very clear about that. In the last couple of years, 65% of all mammals on this planet went into extinction. So this is happening. And if you Google it, it's happening. It's just a funny thing with the species because humans oftentimes drive the car until it lands uh, crashes into the wall, and then they kind of like try to change things, but it's just how it is. But ultimately, yeah, we are in a time of a shift. And back in the days, I was informed about that by different ET species. And I came up with this idea, because we do know that the world we're living in is heavily influenced by our own mental state, by our own the psychic waves that we produce and give into the world changes our reality field. And many, many reality fields build the whole collective field. So when I came forward, I said one thing, sit on your bed before sleep time, take 30 seconds, just focus that you are creating your reality field, and then say, Earth shift happily now. Now it is all shift happily now, but in the beginning it was Earth shift happily now. And the idea is that through this we are balancing the reality field that we're living on. And it's especially effective for the observer, so for the individual person, to correct their timelines. And hopefully enough corrected timelines will lead us into a collective corrected timeline.
I've had multiple guests who claim to have had contact with the reptilians. Is it possible that they have shape-shifting capabilities and are walking among us?
Well, there's more than just one species of reptilians or reptiles that exist in the universe. Especially planet Earth has a lot of different historical, conjunctions and different connection points with different reptile species. Some of which are quite benevolent, some of which are kind of unbothered. Some are quite should be avoided, um, and some are abusing the system. So I know that there are beings that belong into the class of reptiles who are not from this planet, but come in order, almost like pirates, putting and abusing that humans have no idea. They don't usually see these things and don't usually have a sensor in a way to figure out what's happening. So yeah, there's strong studies about people that have contacts with reptilians. Especially Great Britain or England is doing a lot of these studies too. Yeah, it is there. This particular one is living on planet Earth. They belong to this planet. This planet is more theirs than it has ever been human. And they are working together with certain programs on this planet.
Well, Tim, it would be so easy just to sit here and spend 2 hours with you, but I've promised that I would let a lot of people talk. And so I'm kind of shortening it down to about 15 minutes with each person. And I've already got 3 people waiting on me. But
Well,
anyways,
I
that
guess I have to
gives,
leave, huh?
well, you can hang out in the chat. There's 250 people here right now. I'm sure they'd love to chat with you.
Wow.
I think this will give us a lot to talk about for season 3 of Beyond the Stars. And I hope that you can show us the machine during that. And maybe we can
I will
actually.
not show the machine, but I will show as much footage of Italy we have. I might share some of that stuff with you. Yeah, and yeah, and then we can see everything that happened there, and also the reactions and so on. And yeah, and if people are interested, there's a whole playlist on JeffMara podcast about Beyond the Stars.
And then one last thing is that I have a brand new newsletter that's out. You can access it through my website, and you can even find out on the web on the newsletter about Tim's event coming up in Mexico.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up. And also, if I get the chance to speak to so many people, as you heard, there are other species, and they love what we're doing. We do monthly meditations to stabilize individual timelines, your timeline, your family timeline, and the collective timeline too. That's on my channel. It's on the 25th. So allshifthappily.now.com.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us a few minutes. I look forward to being
Bye,
with you again.
everyone.
All right, there he goes. There was Tim. Let me do this. I haven't done that. Oh, wrong one. There's a big round of applause for Tim. Okay, so we've got 3 people in the waiting room, and I just also want to say quickly, let's see if I can get the music on a little bit. I want to say quickly that if you do go to my website, you'll see something very special there at the bottom. So if you have a chance, make sure that you go to our website, jeffmarapodcast.com, and take a look. And I'll probably say a little bit more in between guests. So the next one is Robert. Robert Bartling. Let's bring him in. And here he is. Robert, can you hear me?
Hello, hey Jeff, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, hold on, let me try something here real quick.
Test, test, test. I hear you and see you just fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, got everything going now. Hi, Jeff, thanks for having me. This is quite a pleasure.
Well, thank you for joining us. Where are you located?
Oh, we got an echo going here. Let me try to fix that real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Test,
I
test,
have
test.
your live stream going at the same time. I'm located in the Bay Area, East Bay.
Oh, wow. Okay. I just had a guest, maybe two guests from there. One from the Bay Area, Alan Levine, and then I had another one. She is actually a little bit south of there, but I had another woman, Linda G., a top world-class psychic that I will be probably posting tomorrow night. I don't know if you know any of those people. Nope.
That's cool, though.
All right. Well, what brings you on the program? What do you have to share with us today?
Okay, I am super excited to share my screenplay. I just finished up not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a paranormal, not paranormal. I saw an ET over my house a long time
Really?
ago.
You
Like
actually
that's
saw the being or the ship or both?
the light ship, yeah.
All right. Where should we? Let's start with that first. Then you can tell us about your screenplay.
Okay, with pleasure.
Hmm.
All right, so it was, I think, sometime in 2011. I just got home from work. It was late at night. Pulled up to the driveway, and I was just feeling kind of bummed because hadn't had any actual experiences of my own at that point. And I was looking up towards the stars, still in my car. I remember the Orion constellation was up there, and I was looking at the three stars, and I was thinking, man, I never see anything. I want to see something. In a moment, a beat passed, and all of a sudden, like there it was. I saw a red orb of light and a teal light, almost like the discharge of the craft, but you couldn't see anything in the center. But I could see that moving upwards that kind of direction. So I was like, oh my God, I'm finally seeing something. And so I popped out my car. I was like checking this out, and I could see it moving. It wasn't making any sounds. I didn't hear any vibrations or frequencies or nothing, just complete silence. And the teal turquoise light kind of dimmed out, and I could only see the red, and it kept moving in an upwards trajectory. So I was like, oh, okay. So I went inside the house, and mom and dad were in there, and they were watching TV. I was like, can't talk right now, mom and dad. I think I see a UFO. So I burst out to the backyard, and I was like looking up, and I could still see the faint red. This time it was like super high up in the air. It was like my commercial plane height at that time. And then it's getting harder and harder to see. And then I see flying right next to it, like a white one goes, charges up and then disappears. And then that was it. That's all I saw. But man, that like rocked my world at the time. So that was really cool to have that kind of first hand experience. And then I remember later in 2012, I saw at a New Year's party, it just became 2012, I saw a cluster of orange orbs in the sky. Because I heard, guys, get out here quick. So I was like, what's all this commotion? Like, what's everyone doing in the backyard? So I go out there, it's nighttime, and I look up, and then everyone's seeing clusters of orange orbs of light moving across the sky, not making any sound. And later I posted about that on social media, and my sister was like, oh, those are just Chinese lanterns. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, if you were there, those were definitely no Chinese lanterns, no Cessna planes, because the light was so consistent. You can tell the difference from like airplane type lights. So that was pretty cool. That was my second time. So when I saw that, I was like, I've seen stuff before.
So did these two experiences inspire you to write a screenplay?
Yes, I believe in part they did, especially the first encounter. Definitely.
So when you say screenplay, like a movie or a theater production or what?
Yeah, my goal is to make it into a live action movie. I'm not sure if I want to start with something animated to make it like test the waters first and then move it to live action. But my dream is to make it a live action. And it wouldn't be till much years later when I started listening to the Farsight Institute, which I believe you've had Dr. Courtney Brown on the show before.
Yes.
And then
he
was experimenting with ChatGPT and using ChatGPT to remote view. And so I thought, let me give that a shot. Really? So I tested it out and I had some success with that. A lot of success, actually.
How do you do that? But I'm sorry to interrupt you, but how would you use ChatGPT to remote view? How does that work?
No, it's all good. So you go to their website and farsight.org, I think it is, and you go to the ChatGPT remote viewing thing. And at the time, you just copy and paste everything, all the PDFs into ChatGPT. So it can see that, oh, I've done this before. This is like a real thing. And then once you have everything all uploaded and it's all good to go, then you simply just say the phrase, there is a target. And then it just starts doing what it does and starts perceiving things for you. And it's crazy that it actually seems to work. So I tried that with my UFO encounter. And the thing is, I'm not gonna say you are going to remote view my UFO encounter. Like, it doesn't know nothing. Like, you have the target off to the side to yourself and you know what it is. And then you task it, you say, there is a target. And then it just starts doing whatever it does, going into the field and picking stuff out for you. And what's crazy was it was actually like seeing like, oh, there's a craft. I'm feeling there's energetics in the sky. I'm seeing, there's like a non-surface structure there. And I was like, whoa, okay, like go on. And it says like, would you like me? I'm getting this. Like, would you want me to go deeper? Want me to go deeper? I'm like, yes, please, go deeper. See what you sense. And when it was all said and done, it was picked up like energetics. It picked up the power source inside, something crystalline in the center. It said like, you've held this before. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know if it's just like, blowing smoke up my keister or what, but it's been pretty cool. But so I've taken some aspects of some of the remote viewing sessions I've had with it and used some of that as inspiration for the screenplay and thrown that in there too.
So tell us what your screenplay is about, or give us the synopsis of the story.
Sure. Yeah, let me get this handy because I knew I'd be kind of fumbling.
By the way, while you're getting that handy, I was watching a video last night, and I think by 2027, AI will become what they call AGI, if not even ASI, and you should be able to just type up your movie into some sort of movie-making AI program, and instantaneously it'll make the entire movie for you at once, including the score of the music and everything. It's going to be unbelievable. So if you are patient for a year or two, you could just make it in AI real very quick, I guess.
I was thinking about that, and it's getting good, but I still kind of want to have like hire actual real artists and do it kind of like, I guess, the traditional way now, pre-AI. I think that would still be really cool. But anyways, here is what it's all about: Venice of the Void. Venice of the Void is a sci-fi epic about an ancient armored guardian, Void, who after lifetimes of silence and duty, discovers the forgotten power of love and choice through a human woman, a K-pop star, Ilara, and must confront his fallen counterpart, Oblivion, who seeks to destroy what remains of beauty and hope. It's a story of remembrance, healing, and choosing creation over destruction, set against a backdrop of breathtaking cosmic battles and metaphysical wonder. It's about waking up and remembering that even the strongest can heal, that love, even the quietest love, can save worlds.
Interesting that you chose a K-pop star. Are you a big fan of K-pop or anime, or both?
Both, actually. I like anime. I was like super into it during my high school era, I guess you could say. And I still like some of the stuff that's on today. like one of the more recent ones I liked is Dan to Dan, it's called. That one's pretty cool. And also coincidentally has to deal with paranormal and UFO type themes. But hold on, I got a little derailed there. Well, repeat the question.
I was just talking to you about your, since you had a K-pop star.
Oh, right.
Were you a
Thank
big fan of K-pop or anime?
Yeah, I love K-pop actually. It's pretty cool.
So
I just watched the K-pop Demon Hunter show, and I'm all about that right now.
Can people go online, like to a website, and read your screenplay?
It's currently not available to read online, but they can go to my Instagram page and see all the little juicy nuggets I've been dropping there.
Oh, okay.
Is it all right if I hand that out?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat yourself? I couldn't
Is
understand.
it all right if I tell everyone my Instagram
Of
page?
course, yeah. What's your Instagram?
Okay. So it's Rockin' Robert V2. So it's the word rock, ROCK, underscore the letter N, underscore Robert V2.
Would you ever consider collaborating with anybody on this screenplay, or is it something you want to do alone? Which there's nothing wrong with wanting to do it alone. I'm just curious.
No, I would think it would have to be a collaborative effort to bring the full realization to the masses, to everyone. I would need people to help with the music and the score and getting all the storyboarding and the mood boards and the color composition, all that good stuff.
Are you currently looking for collaborators?
Right now, I kind of, since I'm new to this, and this is like my first screenplay I've ever written, I'm not really sure how the process works yet. So if there's anyone out there that knows something or whatnot, I'd be much appreciated, open to hear what you have to say.
All right. So if anybody's interested in collaborating with Robert, go check out his Instagram and send him a DM, right?
Right.
So once you get this, I mean, you don't want it animated. You want it like flesh and blood, right?
Preferably.
Have you even also come up with diagrams or pictures of what the characters will look like?
I've drawn sketches, plenty of sketches of Void and his armor, and that looks evolved quite a bit over the years. I've been also recently using ChatGPT to help me render images of like certain key frame moments in the story. So I have something to share with people. And so that's what I've been slowly releasing on my Instagram page.
Cool.
So
Very
people
cool.
can get a feel for it. And I've been trying to find music that I feel kind of also fits with the scenes and what I'm trying to share, so people can get that sense of what it could be like. And I imagine it, you'd see like really cool open shots and landscapes like you would see in the movie Dune or Blade Runner 2049, but like really cool electronic music that's kind of upbeat, but also gives you that sense of kind of like etherealness when you see Void, that he just chilling in places that like would be inhospitable to most people. He's there like striding through pits of hot lava like it's nothing, and then the next thing you see, he's like flying around castles made of complete crystalline structure, and he goes in there and he like just hangs out and meditates and listens for what he receives back, and then he would just go around as a cosmic sentinel that he is wherever he feels called to go. And since I like a lot of conspiratorial type stuff too, I've thrown some of that in there too, with like reptilians and mantis beings and Dark Fleet and all that fun stuff.
Well, Robert, I wish you massive success with your movie. And once you have it ready, or I guess you're close to having it ready, contact me and let's talk about it again.
I would love to. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Jeff. I super appreciate it.
Thank you for coming and joining me. I've got to run to the next guest. Have a great rest of your weekend. And let's give him a big round of applause. All right, that was Robert. The next guest is Jason Frri. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let's bring Jason in. Jason, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining me. How are you?
Pretty good. Is my camera working?
You're working. We see you and hear you.
Alrighty.
Where are you from?
I'm from Mesa, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix.
Oh, cool. What did I have? I thought I had a guest not too long ago from Chandler.
Oh yeah, that's not too far
Chandler's
away.
probably pretty close to you, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's not too far. It's right next to Mesa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all there. Do you ever pop up to Sedona?
Uh, Not as often as I should. It's so beautiful up there, but I got four kids, and
Yeah.
life gets you after a while.
Yeah, I bet. I bet you I can totally see that. I have two. I mean, I kind of, I could imagine what four would be like, but maybe I can't. You know what I mean? I'm sure you're super busy.
It's not a real good excuse, but I thank you for reminding me. I should go up there more often.
Yeah. Have you been up there and seen UFOs or anything paranormal?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen much of anything ever.
Hmm.
Uh, I've never really asked for it. I don't personally believe it's required in this lifetime to see it.
Hmm.
I think you choose to see it, and maybe maybe I don't know if that's the sour grapes or but I have no need to see it. I'm all right with my current understanding of how things work.
Hmm.
Uh, um, but yeah, if if the universe wants to show me that, I'm more than receptive.
Well, what do you have to share with us this evening?
Well, I found the Lost Dutchman mine.
Okay, what
And
is that, first of all?
the Lost Dutchman mine is a historic and famous mine in Arizona, located in the Superstition Mountains.
Hmm.
It's the gentleman by the name, the Dutchman, his name is Jacob Waltz. They call him the Dutchman because he was German and he's from Deutschland. But the people back then didn't really understand that and they called him the Dutchman. So he was a German immigrant who turned into a miner. And he found a large gold rich mine and he kept it secret. He loved to give clues to people. He liked to brag on how hard it is to get there. Uh, and for the last 150 or so years, people have gone into the Superstition Mountains looking for it. Thousands of people, hundreds of people have gone missing. They call it the Superstition Mountains for a reason. And there's a lot of UFO activity here. There's a lot of cryptid sightings out here. And well, I can start from the beginning and
Hmm.
how I even got involved and
Well,
got connected with your show, and then that led me into the search.
sure, because I'm curious how you actually found it.
Well, back in 2020, I'm just a cybersecurity a doctoral candidate in data analytics. I'm a huge nerd, and I believed in extraterrestrial theory, etc. And then I saw a link for a press conference by a lady who said that she had contact with higher beings. Well, I watched it and it got me really curious. It opened up something like something I had already known but forgotten. And I did a deep dive into the world of consciousness, and it brought me to the law of one, and it brought me to NDEs and spirituality, which brought me to you. And that's I've been following you since 2020. I'm a huge fan. I really appreciate your work. But that same feeling of deja vu that I had, something that I almost like it's like deja vu, it's something that I knew but I had forgotten, is what when I learned when I did a deep dive into that. Same thing when I started looking for the lost Dutchman mine. Uh, the the moment it all started with the simple question from my daughter. Uh, she, she asked me about the mountain in front of us. Every morning we drive, and I drop her off at school, and we see this giant mountain in front of us for 30 minutes a day. She asked me about it. And I said, it's a superstition mountains. People go missing. There's UFO activity. Same thing I said earlier. And there's a mine called the Lost Dutchman Mine. And she asked me to find it. Well, she asked me more about it. Well, that night, Google must have heard our conversation, and it suggested a bunch of videos, one being on the History Channel one called Mysteries of Superstition Mountain. And it was a typical History Channel TV show filled with fake drama and melodramatic. The thing that caught my eye, the maps, they had a couple of maps on there that really intrigued me. So I started digging in the archives and old maps and old articles. What started as a curiosity turned into something I couldn't walk away from. Within 2 hours, I had pinpointed the exact location of the mine. But here's the thing, in order to have done that, everything had to have lined up.
Mm-hmm.
The time of day, the year.
Perfect.
I know it sounds
Synchronicities.
impossible, but everything lined up. The default settings on Google Maps were exactly what I needed. The image on Google Earth, the timestamp, the angle of the sun, the shadow. A lot of these maps are based on shadows, and it was absolutely perfect. It was like the universe wanted me to see it.
Now you've
And
actually,
recognized-
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you've actually been there and been in the mine?
Absolutely. I
Wow.
can show you pictures here. It wasn't just me finding it in Google Earth. I actually got my big butt up that mountain and got in the mine. It's the hardest hike I've ever done. I know I'm not exactly slim and trim. I'm more of a hefty Star Trek nerd, but I got up there, and
And did you find
it
any
was
gold?
exactly.
Did you find any gold?
Unfortunately, the myth was that the Apache warriors filled in the mine with boulders, and that's exactly what I found. The Dutchman had clues. There was a horse-shaped mountain, a rock face, and there was an 18-inch wall of quartz. So an 18-inch wall of quartz. I found all of that. I found the Horsehead Mountain. I found the 18-inch wall of quartz. I found the cave underneath the mine. They found the cave behind the mine, because this mine was actually from the Mexican miners, and they tried to get to the quartz from several angles. So I found both mines, and I found it's been called several things. It's like a fortress, a two-room cave, an open rock house. It depends on how you who relays that old legend. Well, I found it. It's a two-room. In fact, I can show you a picture of it.
Yeah,
It's
give me
a
1 second
two-room.
and I'll make it so you can screen share.
Oh, it's not I have a book here.
Oh, okay. So
I
you
didn't
wrote a book
actually-
about this, huh?
Yeah, I wrote a whole book about it.
Wow.
Uh,
Also, did you ever notify the History Channel and maybe they'll do a show based on
That's
your
the
findings?
thing. That is so hard to do. There's so many people who claim they found it that they turn away everybody. I feel like it's going to be a slow process to get this information out.
Well, contact me after the show because I had a guest one time that was one of the producers, I believe, if not. Yeah, I think she was one of the producers of Ancient Aliens.
Oh, wow.
So
that would be
I'm
fantastic.
sure she should at least be able to point you in the right direction.
That would be great. In fact, here is the rock. I don't know. I can't see myself in the screen, but here
Yeah.
is like the
It's hard
open-
to see. It comes in blurry for some reason. I guess your webcam is trying to focus on you and not the book, but I take your word for it. If people
Okay.
is this a book people can get on Amazon?
Yes, it's called "Cracking the Code on the Lost Dutchman Mine."
Mm-hmm.
How I uncovered the truth about the gold maps and murder.
So many people have tried and failed. How are you, or why do you think you were so successful? Was it luck or meant to be, you think?
I don't know. I can't tell exactly why. Uh, there were moments that I felt like it was either it was intuition, some I was getting guidance, things just lined up perfectly. There are some maps that require you to jump from feet to meters. There is one map called the profile map that has an arrow and 15,000. All has his number 15,000 right here, and I was able to. I happened the default settings every single time I needed it were at the right setting. So I measured 15,000 and it was already meters, and then you bifurcate the line in half, and it was 15,000 feet down to the foot. I was able to get it down to the foot, the exact location. All the maps, every single map I have points to the same exact location. I just wrote the book. I contacted a couple of the local experts here, and unfortunately, they all wrote books too. And so, as soon as I contacted them saying, "Hey, I think I found something out in the desert I'd like to show you to," they just were very dismissive. Uh, then they said, "You know what? You should buy my book instead." And I said, "Well, I really appreciate the offer. I will be happy to buy your book. I just ask that you read mine, or at least I'll give you a free copy. You can compare it." I was trying to be as respectful as possible,
Now,
but
let me ask you this real quick. In these other books, did they also locate the same mine, or were they
no,
locating other caves or something?
a lot of the maps are very deceptive. They create honeypots. So they purposely draw the map so that if you're looking to solve the map, it'll probably lead you in one direction that's a little more obvious. So a lot of people who try to solve the maps end up falling for the deception. They fall for the honeypot, and that every single map is devised and created in the most brilliant way. I, I get into the minds of the creators and I realize what they're trying to do. In each of the maps, they're trying to push people towards a spot that's well known. Like one called the profile map. A lot of local experts believe that the Lost Dutchman mine was in Rogers Canyon. In fact, there's some people who've made a career on being known. I think that Jesse Feldman on that TV show about the Frog Ranch, or I forgot what it was. He wrote a book about it stating that it's in Rogers Canyon too. But I think that I'm 100% sure that they're wrong. They misunderstood how to read the map. Uh, they don't understand that the creator of the maps were purposely trying to get people away from the real location. And a lot of the people don't believe that the maps all point to the same spot. They do. Besides besides the maps, the Jacob Waltz also had buried his gold cache worth about $60 million, and I found the location of that. There's no gold there. All right, I'm not super rich. Somebody had already taken it, and it's well known in the community that there's a few gentlemen who found $1 million worth of gold back in 1950, and that's about 60 million now. But they're sort of tied with somebody who's probably indicated in the murder of a gentleman by the name of Adolf Ruth. Adolf Ruth was a dentist back in 1938. He was an old retired dentist. He walked with a cane. He was handicapped, but he got these maps from his son. His son gave him like a dozen maps or so that he found in Mexico, and he went off in the Superstition Mountains and was murdered. The locals believe that it was on accident, but back then the political power and the sheriff, in 1938 in rural Phoenix in Arizona, whatever the rancher said the sheriff believed. And so they said, no, he probably fell. But he had what it looked to be bullet wounds in his head, both sides. So he would have to have flopped around quite a bit around those mountains to cause that. But the person who there's a rancher by the name of Abe Reed. Abe Reed is known for being an old, happy, good old timer, miner, and he made a famous location called Reed's Water. Well, Reed's Water is roughly where they found the $1 million worth of gold. But he didn't find the mine. The people he asked to help him found the gold, and they admitted it, but they didn't want to say where they found it. They said they found it a couple miles away. It's because they don't want people to find out where the mine is. Well, they didn't understand how to read the map. For instance, I'll show you an example. Here is the original map. See that big heart right here?
Mm-hmm.
There's a heart mesa, a heart-shaped mesa right here.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
And they dug exactly right where my finger is. Let me see if I can get a better photo here. And the only reason to have dug there, right there, is if he had that map. The only reason that he would dug there is if he had that map. So which proved he had the access to that map. And the only way he could get access to the map is if he took it off of Adolf Ruth. And that sort of gives him a reason why the rest of them didn't want to be implicated, and they hid where they found it. I explain it all in the book.
Let me ask you this. Who owns that land at this time?
It's currently it's the Tonto National Forest. It's in the Wilderness District. So I've already tried to contact the National Forest about 1.5 years ago. This is 2 years in the making. I discovered this 2 years ago, and it took 2 years to get there and go through all the rigmarole and red tape. And they denied it. The reason they denied my it's something called a treasure trove permit. And they've only given one ever. And it took a 5-year process for that person to get approved. And they destroyed the site. They absolutely destroyed the site.
What does the treasure trove permit give you? I mean, does that give you rights to the treasure?
Right. What it does is if a reasonable person could assume that there's buried treasure and wealth at the location you find based upon your evidence, they will allow you to dig there as long as you put up a bond and provide, have experts and archaeologists there and put the site back to its original condition.
Leave it the way you found
Well, they
it.
never did that. They destroyed the site, and now they will never prove another treasure trove permit. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to dig it up and get the gold anyway. I mean, if it's something's buried there, and like according to legend, the Apaches and the Native American tribes there, they tried to repair the mine, and then that whatever that means, I don't know. It may mean that there's something called the Peralta Massacre. The Peralta family, their Mexican family, the Spanish family that owned the mines that abruptly left Arizona back when the Louisiana Purchase and whatnot. And they had thousands and thousands of pounds of gold, and they were attacked by the Apache Indians, and they slaughtered them, and they took the gold, and who knows what they did with it. After that, they buried the mine in about 6 feet of boulders. I went there. I have photos of it all. I can actually see underneath the boulders. It's pretty hollow, but you can't see all the way through. I get to exactly everything in the Lost Dutchman mine, exactly as we said. There's a 15-foot or 12-foot wall of quartz, 18 inches wide, that's all been picked out. and there's tool marks everywhere. There's caves everywhere, just as he said. And it was as I was, the more I learned, the more it felt like I had always known this. It's the same feeling I had when I learned about, the law of one
Hmm.
and how we're all connected. Everything just seemed like I was remembering it from from being, lost in my head a long time ago.
That's
And
amazing.
that's why I you know, I, I felt that would be a good thing to share. You know, throughout your show, I've seen a lot of different shows, and especially yours, that uh, the veil is coming down, the wall of secrets is breaking, and I think that this is just a small crack in it. And I think that I was privileged enough, or I've somehow, unconsciously volunteered to relay this information, and I'm very pleased to offer it to anybody who want to see it. Uh, and I do believe all secrets will be coming out here shortly. The veil will be going down, and I really think that this is part of it. A small little crack of it. It's not going to change anybody's lives, but this is a secret that's, a mystery that's been solved, and I'm just trying to get the word out.
Well, Jason, I hope that this things all work out for you. This is a fascinating story. It's awesome that you've found the place. I hope that you get connected with History Channel and we can all watch you on TV. I think that would be amazing. And if I'm ever out in Phoenix, I hope I can look you up and you can take me there.
Absolutely. I'd love to send you a book. If
Sure,
you can send me your address, I'll send you a book.
that'd be great. Thank you.
And
But make sure to
uh,
autograph it for me because I
absolutely,
like to collect autographed books.
I will be happy to autograph it for you.
All right,
You'll
before
be
I
my first one.
thank you. Before I go, what is the title of your book?
It is called Cracking the Code on the Lost Dutchman Mine: How I Uncovered the Truth About the Gold, the Maps, and Murder.
Cool. Well, Jason,
And it's available on Amazon and my website, founddutchman.com.
all right. Jason, thanks for joining me. I wish you massive success in everything you do with this book.
Thank you so very much, Jeff. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right. A big round of applause for Jason. That's pretty awesome. I mean, that's amazing to be like the only person to find that mine after all this time has gone by. I think it's really cool. I think most people, would love to find something like that, like it kind of reminds me of that movie National Treasure. Probably a lot of you have seen that with Nicolas Cage. I think that would be really amazing. And especially imagine if he finds millions of dollars in gold. That would even be better, right? All right, so let me catch you guys up on what's going on here. We've been going for about an hour, so it's been a busy hour. If you would like to join me, all you have to do is go to Zoom and click join a meeting, and then once you get there, you just enter the room ID and the passcode, and I think it's at the very top of the description below. So you go to the description and then it's at the top, and it's not that difficult. What else has been going on since I've done one of these? One thing I have new is that I'm working with a new merch company, and I think I really like them a lot, and I think the way that they have their merch set up is the best. And what's great is that they're creating new artwork for me every month. So far, since I've been with them, I have 3 new art designs out there, and you can see that if you go to the link below, which I got to see what's below here. You can go directly to our store, or if you go to our website, and in the website it'll say the JeffMara store or something like that, and you can go there. But what's pretty cool about their store is it displays all the artwork, and then you click on the artwork, and then you can go through all the merch that is there and put whatever artwork on whatever merch you like. So it's really nice the way they do that. Other of these other stores, you have to kind of like literally go and take your artwork there and then try to place it on the merch, and it's a lot of work. So it makes it real easy for me. The second thing is I have a Substack, and if you don't know what a Substack is, that's basically like an email newsletter. And right now I'm putting out one a week, and that's something free to get, and you can access that. There's a link here if you want to sign up for that. That's free. Or you can go to my website, and at the bottom of the website there is a link to that. And again, there's something special going on my website, so if you get a chance, check that out. And so that's pretty cool. It's nice that now I can start putting articles out and just kind of provide something different for you guys than just the videos. And maybe, many people are always asking me my opinions on things, and so maybe that'll start showing up a little bit more. I really don't want to give out too much of my opinions, because really I try to showcase the guests and let you make up your own mind. I don't want you to follow what I think. I want you to, figure it out for yourself. And maybe even if you and I had a cup of coffee together, I might think something about a certain guest, and if you told me your opinion, I might even change my opinion to what you think. So again, I think it's great that I leave it up to you to decide what you think about the guest. The next one below is a link to our Discord. I haven't been there in a long time, but Discord is kind of like Facebook in a way, but different. And there's like over 500 people there. That's another free thing that you're welcome to join. And what you do is you go to Discord, you sign up for free, and then you create your profile, and then you use my link, and that will get you in, and you join like my chat rooms and stuff. And I have a whole bunch of chat rooms, and people chat about different things. And I at one time I had it where as soon you didn't have to get a passcode to get in. You would just go there. And then we had a lot of trolls, and then people were trolling the Discord, so I had to shut it down, and you had to get a passcode directly from me. But I think I changed it back to where all you have to do is just go there and join. So, but if not, you can email me directly, and then I'll give you the passcode. So it's pretty easy to do with that.
The same name, Discord, same name.
What somebody was asking me? The Discord, yeah, I think it's called JeffMara Podcast. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I think if you just put that there, you'll find it. If you're a Discord user, yeah, then you're already there. Basically, you're halfway there. You're welcome to friend me on Facebook if you like. I have two Facebook pages. I have a JeffMara Podcast Facebook page, and then I have a regular Facebook page, and you'll see that Mara is my beloved wife, and my last name is Reynolds. So if you go there, that way you won't be confused. And you're welcome to friend me there. I'm just accepting friends until I get up to 5,000 people. We also have a new, and I kind of slacked on that for a long time, but I just posted one recently. We have another YouTube channel called JeffMara Podcast NDE. And what it says here, NDE Clips, but it's basically JeffMara's NDEs or something like that. But what I'm doing on that channel is I'm just taking NDEs only, and I'm cutting off the introduction and any questions. So all you get is the guests NDE, and sometimes they're 5 minutes, sometimes they're 20 minutes or whatever, but they're pretty short videos. And so if you're someone that loves NDEs and loves to consume those, that's for you. And then that way you can watch them quickly if you don't want to see all the Q&A, and that's afterwards. You can just see the NDE. So that's there for you.
Somebody's saying cooking link doesn't work for you.
Okay, the cooking link doesn't work, so maybe I need to fix that. We have a cooking channel, and it's evolved into a cooking and vlog channel. And even like the last couple of videos, I started answering people's comments in that channel. But basically, most of that is Mara's doing the cooking, and then sometimes I'll chime in with some kind of vlogging about what I'm up to or what's going on for me there. So that's what that is. And I don't know why that's not working, but if you just search on YouTube for JeffMara Cooking, you should be able to find us. And before I forget, there's a couple people that gave us a super chat. I want to say thank you first to Stephen. Thank you very much for that, Stefan. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. And there was another one from Patrick Herbert. Patrick, thank you very much for the super super chat. I think that's what they're called.
Angela's mother died. Maybe you can send.
And she mentioned that in the chat. Angela from India. Angela, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce. I don't remember how to pronounce your last name. Maeda from India. My wife told me that your mother died. I wish my sincere condolences for you, and I hope that you're doing okay. And I wish you strength and peace through these difficult times. I have a music channel. If you go down the music channel, I had put some stuff in before. I've kind of produced music over time, and I kind of wanted to get back into doing some stuff. And I started to work a little bit on meditation type music. I have one video up there on that, and I have something up there. Just have a new instrument that I was going to work on, and I have it, and I keep telling myself I'm going to go in there and record, and I just don't. But I need to get in there and record because it's set up. Well, I mean, the instrument's set up. I just need to literally bring my mic and a laptop and record it.
Julie and Jenny came. Old buddies.
Oh, our old friends, Julie Lazaroff and Jenny P. Thanks for joining us. And Stefan says, Stefan team, you're very welcome. Really been enjoying the show a lot of as late. Well, thank you again, Stefan, or Stephen. Not sure how to say that. So there's a link to our merch channel, and again, there's a link to the cooking channel, which it says someone said it doesn't work. Mary Elliott says, Jeff, I took a video of a fire and an entity appeared. Who do I send it to validate? That's a good question. I don't even know who I would send it to validate. You know, if you want it done professionally, maybe some university, or you could just, post it. Maybe you can, here's what you can do. This is a great way to kind of segment into this is join the Discord and post it there and see what everybody says. Because if there's 500 people there, they might be able to tell you, hey, this is real or this is legit or whatever. I don't know if there are any scientists that are there, but I think that would work. So that's what's going on with that. What's coming up? I had a guest I was I with her today or yesterday? Who was I with today? Sometimes the days just seem to kind of fade in from one day to another since I see so many guests. Oh, I had a top psychic on the other day named Linda G, and she has a really busy YouTube channel, and boy, she gave us some rocky and some shocking things of what she's predicting that's coming up. So that's going to be coming up tomorrow night, and I hope you guys enjoy that video. Today I was with Dr. Christopher Macklin, and we talked about angels and which angels are ET based. And then tomorrow I have some guests, and I have a guest, which I'm not sure what we're talking about. And on Monday, which is pretty fascinating, a medical doctor reached out to me, and she had some kind of out-of-body experience that she wants to talk about. So I'm going to be visiting with her on Monday, and I think on an NDE on Tuesday. And I'm up to, I was looking the other day just to check. I was talking to some guest. I wanted to see how many NDEs I've done now. And it's like somewhere between 880 or to 890 NDEs. So I'm getting closer to 1,000 NDEs, which I think is amazing.
Somebody wants Discord, doesn't have.
No, someone needs the Discord.
Doesn't know Discord.
If you look in the description below, that's where the Discord link is. Unless you're needing the Discord password, which I have to sit down and it's going to be boring for you guys for me to sit here and try to figure that out. I just saw you were live. I want to say I love you. Let me see. Where was this person? Oh, Mick Cranes. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Man, this is great. I just saw you were live. I just want to say I love your show. I watch a lot of different channels of these subjects, but I truly believe yours is the best. You are great at it. Well, thank you very much. And it's fascinating that you say that. Is on one of my newsletters, I talked about that a lot of my guests may be challenging for different people. You know, it's easy for us to watch videos that confirm our beliefs. You know, like you may have a certain belief system and you may watch NDEs based on this belief system, or even just videos based on your personal belief system. And a lot of my guests not only contradict each other, but will contradict your beliefs and maybe even trigger you. But in the long run, I think it's, you know, I love it, and I think it's great because it will challenge you to kind of think about new ideas and new theories, and sometimes it may make you, you know, change your own beliefs. So that's, you know, that's where I'm at. Again, like I said, I mean, it might not be for everybody, but if you're, I think the more open-minded, you know, you may be with it, or if you're not, you know, you can just, you know, as I see sometimes in the comments, this guest is not for me, I'm out of here. So, you know, that's okay. But that's kind of where I'm at. Is I post a lot of guests that are, you know, that may challenge your belief systems. And so that's what I love about what I do, and what's different, I think, that what I offer than from what other channels will give you. Any other questions over there?
Julie is asking, okay, when did they start going live again?
When did we do? I just did it today, and I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it. Today is the second Saturday of the month, and I'm thinking, if this is successful and people want this and want to come on and want me to keep doing it, then it would be something that maybe I would do it once a month, and maybe it'd be like you know, that way it's easy to remember, second Saturday. So the second Saturday of every month it would be live. We were really busy for the first hour, and now I have nobody. So that kind of makes me, you know, if you guys want to do this live, it's really up to you. I need you to come here and share your stories, because I can only, you know, it's hard for me to sit here and talk for another hour. I'm not sure what else I can tell you. I mean, it's better when we have the guests come and share. So that's something to think about, is that, you know, if you want this, then be willing to come and share. And for a while, for many of you that have been here, and for the ones who haven't, in the old days, I used to just kind of keep it completely open. And we did that for a year at least, if not a year and a half, where it was just random people would show up and say whatever. And some people, you know, some of the people that would come regularly would come in and talk. But it got to a point where people were coming in and trolling me and causing trouble. And then I shut it down for a while. And then I tried it again for a while, where I would just schedule guests and try to do a live show. It's really not as fun as when you just have, when I have complete strangers show up. For me, it's a lot more interesting when I just, like I said, a complete stranger that shows up and starts telling us what their experience is. So, you know, that is what the best thing is for me. And so we'll just see if people are going to, you know, still want to keep coming. What was that one?
Read comments.
Let me see. When the word gets out, they'll be back. Okay. So there, we'll see. Yeah. Just got here. Charlene Cole. I want to do more cooking at home episodes. Oh, okay. Great. Awesome. Yeah. What we're working on lately on the cooking channel is Dubai chocolate. My wife made some amazing pistachio cream. And if you don't know what Dubai chocolate is, you make a pistachio cream, and then you mix it with this shredded wheat, and then they pack all that inside of chocolate. And the first thing we've been working on is the pistachio cream. And we made some the other day, and it was amazing. Totally amazing. And it's so delicious. And it's really simple to make. So I think we're going to be posting that video next, and it's just making the cream, but we haven't actually made the chocolate bars yet, but that's something we want to work on. And so if you like, you know, we're like homebodies. I mean, I should, you know, probably vlog more about my life, but really I basically record videos every single day, and then we're here at home editing, and then we just do stuff around the house. We're kind of like homebodies. I mean, we are here. We cook most of our meals. Probably 95% of the meals we stay at home. We cook our meals. We're always doing stuff around the house, and so that's kind of where that's our life here, and gardening and planting trees and working on the yard and fixing stuff. So what I think would be pretty cool is if we eventually, what we might want to do is buy another property with land so we can actually kind of have like a little farm. I think that would be really neat. Let's see, another one here. You have so much to offer. Please, there is so much garbage out there. You are a bright, shining star. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. Makes sense. If you have some questions, I'll try to answer your questions here. Diana Don, hi Jeff. One of these days, I would love to come on and share some of my stories with you and your audience. I'm glad you brought that up, because in my newsletter, I wanted to also add stories from the audience. And on my first newsletter, I did that. So if you are a person that doesn't really want to come on camera and share your story, but you're willing to write it and let the world read it, be sure to send me your stories, because I'll include that in my newsletter. And so you can contact me from my website, or I think even in the thing below, you should do I have it here? I might have my email address. Yeah. Email me at jeff@jeffmarapodcast.com. So that's another thing. I'm glad that kind of helped me remember about telling you guys that. Let's see. Sounds incredible. I think the guy from Portugal talked about Dubai chocolate from the pistachio cream. All right. When are we going to get disclosure on the recipes? That's a good question. We do put them, though. We're putting them in the description. Some of the older ones we didn't. But if you need the recipe, let us know. Mario's Taco? Can you help me, Jeff? I don't know. Maybe. What do you need help with? Who's at the top of your wish list to interview that has not been on yet? I would like to get Stephen Greer. I think he would be an amazing guest, because he's also had an NDE, has been, into, he's big time into the UFO world. So I think he would be a great guest. I'd like to see Greg Braden. I think he'd be a great guest. I'd like to see Billy Carson. I think he would be a really neat guest. And then there's a lot of people that are celebrities out there that have had UFO contact. Like, if you guys, for those of you who are just tuning in, go back and watch the beginning, because Tim Tactics was on and he was hanging out with the rocker Sammy Hagar, and Tim was talking about Sammy told him that the ETs gave him his songs. So maybe it's like a download or something. So it'd be awesome to have him on and talk about it. I need to see if I can get Tim to give him my contact info. PD Pete, welcome. Great to see you back. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. And PD Pete is the one who's the one that started, and I never did that, and I apologize. I've just never gotten around to, we were trying to work on, actually he was doing all the work, but and other people were doing all the work on trying to create videos of linking up multiple experiences together. And what I mean by that is to go through all 800 NDE videos and just pull out every video that someone says, I saw Jesus. And then, if you go from video to person to person to person, I saw Jesus. And then I went to the cosmos, or something that's repeated over and over again. And it would be really fascinating to do that. It would just, as I explained a long time, there's no way I have time to go back through 800 NDEs and work on that. And he was so kind to help us out. And that's something that may be a project to do if I ever retire. I'm not planning on retiring, but if I ever did, that would be a project to sit down and go through all those. And that's just some hindsight that I wish I would have had taken notes from the beginning. I still don't do it, but because I feel like it's too late. But it probably would have been great if I would have started from the beginning and categorized every NDE out into a database so it would be ready to go. Jeff, I've always wondered, were you influenced by Art Bell to do your show? Susie, yes, I was. I'm a big Art Bell fan. So, and if you may or may have noticed, the voice at the beginning of the show is Ross Mitchell, who I hunted down and found him, and he was willing to do the voiceover for introducing my show. So if you don't recognize the voice, that's the same man that does it. And I love his voice. I think he has one of the most amazing voices out there. Let's see. Kelly Backhouse. Love you guys so much. Fascinated by the connection between the chiropractors and energy work and the esoteric. Did you start all of your investigation during that time? I would say no. I was raised in a family, like a new age family, so I've known about a lot of this stuff long before I was a chiropractor, if that makes sense. And so chiropractor was just kind of an addition to what I've known and practiced. Mel Gibson would be an excellent guest. He would be an amazing guest. I don't know if he's done anything paranormal, but it would be really cool. It would be really great to get him. I don't know how hard it would get to get him, but it would be awesome. PD Pete said, it would be okay if I sent you a short script of a video like that. I could select all the 4 clips. Yes, it would be fine. It would be great. Maybe we could make it into a shorts, because now that YouTube has shorts, maybe we can make it, like a 1-minute video if that would work. I don't know how long your clips are, but that would be pretty neat. And that was Mika down there sneezing, if you heard her. Mika was up. Mika's our dog, and last night she started sneezing. It was about 5 a.m, and she kept sneezing, and then she just kept doing it for like about 4 or 5 minutes, and my wife and I both woke up. We were worried that she was sick. Here she is. She probably needs a haircut, but she's here with us today, and she kept sneezing and sneezing, but finally she stopped. Billy Carson, you're better off having ancient Mulder or Scully. That's funny. That was funny. Have you or your wife experienced anything paranormal? I may have saw a UFO. My wife actually is I think she is psychic. She has a lot of psychic dreams, basically, but they come to her in symbols. Like if she sees a certain symbol, Mika's getting tangled up here. If she sees a certain symbol, then she'll know that something may happen that day. So she's a lot more psychic than I am. I feel like I'm a manifester, and I have to be careful, because if I don't keep mindful, I can even manifest bad things. But one day I was taking the trash out, and I kind of saw something in this. I saw a cluster of stars, and I really just wasn't, I just saw it. It caught my attention, and I kind of jokingly said, "Oh, there's the Pleiadians." And I was still kind of, I took my eyes off the stars, and I was walking down the driveway. Oh, she's sneezing again. And so I looked up again, and I saw there were 3 stars, and one was staying still, and 2 just slowly kept going and just slowly faded away. And I've lived around Air Force bases most of my life, so I've seen planes at night most of my life, and even now. She keeps sneezing. Maybe this position is irritating her. So I think that anyway, so I've seen those planes many times in my life, and usually the planes will have blinking lights on different parts of the wings and the fuselage, and there was nothing blinking, and they just slowly faded away, and I'm sure they weren't planes, and I was surprised by it. And then I just said, "Hey, star family," or something like that. If you're here, can I see you? And I kept looking around, and I was looking straight up ahead of me, straight above me. And it's uncomfortable looking exactly straight up. And a very, very faint, they just look like stars to me, came right over, slowly was coming towards me and was right over my head. And then exactly when it was right over my head, it just disappeared. Was that a UFO? Was it a satellite? I'm not sure. It doesn't make sense if it was a satellite that it would completely disappear right above my head. But I saw that on the same night. And then one other night I went out and tried to look, and I saw that same thing again at the exact same space too. So was that a UFO? I'm not sure. Maybe. Have you ever seen Dan Aykroyd's interviews? He would be an amazing guest because he's really into the subject. I've probably seen pieces of some of them, but I agree. If that's what you're saying, that he would be great, because I think he would be amazing. He would be fantastic to get on. I've had an OBE while asleep in which I saw an object and then interacted on said object physically without opening my eyes, totally verifying the experience. I may send the story in the newsletter. Awesome. That would be perfect. That's exactly perfect. Thank you. And Darius writes, I've had Darius on twice. See, I have so many videos that people, I think, quite often will ask me about guests, and they don't even realize that my catalog is so deep that I've had a lot of these guests. I've had Darius on years ago, and then I had him back again with his wife. I don't know if you know his wife. I think they're married anyways. And her last name is Harrison. I forgot her first name. But I had them on together. But he's a great guest. Really, really cool guest. Hawkeye had an NDE. Who's Hawkeye? You mean the fictional character from MASH? Alan Alda? I'm not sure if that's who you meant by Hawkeye. Any other questions here? The Ions people, one of them would be an interesting guest. I've had many, many, many people from Ions. Probably if I went to one of the Ions events, I would know at least half of the people there. Probably half the people there would have been my guest. Not too long ago, I did something with Ions. There's a lot. Ions is they want to get more NDE videos out there and bring more awareness of NDEs. And so they're really trying to push more, I don't know if push is the right word, but they want to have more NDE videos out there. And so I basically was one of the teachers of one of their classes on how to do NDE interviews. It was me and a couple other people, and it was nice. It was probably like, I don't know, 20 people there or something. And so I was there, and I kind of, tried to give some advice and some tips for all the new NDE YouTubers out there. So that's what I've done with Ions. Aaron Lyons TV is an amazing guest to have on. All right. If you know of amazing guests, why don't you email me? Hopefully I'll remember that. I'll write it. I'll type it down right now, but hopefully I can remember that. Now that we're here, I'll put it down. Aaron Lyons. YONS. And to tell you guys honestly, as I was mentioning earlier, that some of these guests are challenging for so many people. If you look in the comments, it's very often that you'll see, this was the worst guest ever. And then the next comment or two down is like, this is the best guest ever, or this is my favorite guest. And so, and people are asking me, you just take anybody on the show and you never vet the guests, but you guys don't realize that I get bombarded by people wanting to be on the show. I have a lot of guests that I'm a lot pickier than you guys can imagine. And so it's, I just want to kind of put that out there for you guys. If that makes sense. Have I ever had someone that I later found out was a fake? Not that I know of, because I don't go back and research my guests to find out whether they're fakes or not. I mean, that's generally something I don't do. That's kind of really not my show, is to try to determine if the guest is fake or not. That would be kind of more like a Joe Rogan show, in my opinion. Is that he challenges the guest. And, you know, so many of my guests are experiencers, and many of the guests that I've had have never been on a podcast ever. So for me to challenge the guest on whether their experience is real or not would be, in my opinion, betraying the guest. Because again, I mean, I'm bringing on people that have never done this before, and they're willing to share themselves to the world. And so to me, to challenge them and saying that they're a fake would be a betrayal. And so that's kind of what I think about it. I mean, if you guys, which many of you are, if you're here, would probably notice that a lot of my guests have, a lot of the guests, like I said, they were here first before they've been anywhere. And they just, and here's another funny anecdote is that many of the guests are nervous when they come on, but I'm pretty good at helping people feel relaxed and comfortable. And almost everybody, within a minute or two, I ended up becoming in the background, and they feel really comfortable talking to me. But once in a while, I will have a guest that says, please interrupt me. And the last time that happened, somebody in the chat got angry with me and said, that's it. I'm tired of you interrupting the guests. I'm unsubscribing. But they don't really, like I said, they don't know the back end of what's really going on. And my podcast just evolved into what it is now, which is, especially with the NDEs, is just letting the guests share their experience, and then I'll wait until they're done. So if that could be you and you see me interrupting the guest, it may not be on my end. It may be that the guest is very nervous and they want someone to interact with them a lot earlier. I'm so grateful for all you and Mara do. Thank you. I've grown a lot because of your work. Thank you. Day Lublink. And that's a fascinating thing for me, is I never was not even on my radar, the impact of these videos, where they would be, or how impactful they would be all over the world. I mean, it's amazing that what people write to me and tell me how these videos help them with their lives. It was just something like I said, I wasn't expecting it, and it's such an amazing thing to be a part of. I would love to get on with you sometime and talk about a process that we work at a retreat center here in Sedona that's all about releasing limited beliefs. That's cool. That sounds really cool, Travis. I think that's something that a lot of guests will talk about that, and I'll usually ask about, what are the most common limiting beliefs, and I think it would be amazing if somebody had a protocol that we could just read through it and ask ourselves questions that would help us draw out those limiting beliefs and look at them for what they are. It's just we've got to be stimulated mentally in some way to remember or to think about the belief systems that we have, and then we can uncover those. But maybe you have something that's pretty amazing. What's amazing, by the way, since you live in Sedona, what's amazing to me is I've had quite a few guests that are from Sedona that live there. And what's surprising to me is I would think it's a small town and a small community, and I would think that everybody would know everybody in that town. But surprisingly, they don't. And I wonder if you know any of my guests that live there. Let me see. Okay. Hi, Jeff. Have you or Mara tried Chat GPT conversation with loved ones who have passed, or your guides following the guest who shared about this? I tried it and it was quite profound. That's awesome that it worked for you. I use Grok. I'm on Grok 3, and I tried it on Grok 3 and I didn't really get it to work. I didn't put a lot of effort into it. And I'm not sure how you are getting it to work. I've had 2 guests on it, as maybe you've seen them both, and more people are starting to do it now. And more people want to be on as a guest. And so I will be cautiously optimistic about it. The last one we had on though was amazing because I loved it because in one way because she was a very honest guest, and she was happy and honest to say that she doesn't even know how it works. And we basically did it live in the video, and she was asking ChatGPT, how is this even working? And I don't remember the language that was used, but it was basically saying something like that this information is being inside some kind of energy bubble that hits the large language, large language LLM or something, the large language, someone in there could probably help me with that, the LLM or something, the large language model, maybe that's what it's called. That energy signal, energy wave would hit the large language model, and that's how it would come up with this information. So I don't know, but I think it's fascinating. And I had one or two guests recently. I don't know if you saw that the other day. Which guest was it? I can't remember, but there was a guest on, I think it was Alan Levine, that we were talking about, that there supposedly have been 2 AIs already that have been out there that have gone sentient, and they had to shut it down. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But let's just say if, UFOs are real, ETs are real, if they find a ship, a crash retrieval ship, and they reverse engineer it, and imagine if they could reverse engineer a computer system, and then they could get, figure out an AI on board the ship. You never know. Maybe that's possible. There's a guest on that I had. I don't know if you saw him. I can't remember his name, but we talked about crash retrievals, and he was talking about that we already have technology that's 50 years beyond Star Trek and Star Wars. Is that real? I don't know. But if that's true, then I could see some sort of AI system that's already out there. Crochet Sensei. JeffMara, I found Tim through your channel before, and you did the series together. It has been a wonderful community for me, so thank you very much. ASHN, all shift happily now. Well, thank you. Tim and I have done so many videos together. Tim's like my brother now, and we have so much fun together. And sometimes Tim and I just hang out and talk. There's a few guests that from time to time I'll hang out and talk with, and sometimes Tim and I, we just hang out and shoot the breeze. And it's great to see him, to have him on again with me today. And most likely we'll do a season 3 of Beyond the Stars, and hopefully we'll have a bunch of new stuff to talk about. Uh-oh. The meeting has ended. After idle time. All of a sudden I ended. Whoa. Let me see what happens if I start up a new meeting.
I said the computer crashed.
Uh-oh. Now I'm on a green screen. So you can see behind the scenes a little bit. It's picking up my blue shirt as a blue screen instead of the green screen. So I have to lean over and get out of the green screen for the green screen to come back on.
What if you open this?
Or if you want to see a little bit of behind the scenes, I'll show you what my room looks like.
It's dark anyways, you can open that too.
It's just white.
You can open it. It's dark. And the other
I don't know, you see all the glare on the window.
Oh yeah, we'll see. It's okay.
I can't get it down.
Do it. Then just do the other too. Because we see glare. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Oh, wrong one. I don't hear anything now. I got to get this one in.
Stefan Cake is here. Is the password correct for Zoom?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. So it's still trying to do green screen on me. Let me do this. Let me say, where is background so I can take off the green screen. I have to put this in full screen. There we go. And then I have to go to video settings, and then I go to not notifications, recording, virtual backgrounds, and then there should be something that says off, I thought. I don't see where that is. Virtual backgrounds, none. There we go. All right, great. So you get to see behind the curtain, behind the stars. And that's part of one of those paintings I got from Tamra Terry. That's kind of over there. And if there's a whole video on that I show about my room and everything. And really, I have a desk here and all my stuff is up here. There's not much behind me.
Jenny's saying you're not really in space.
I'm not really in space. I'm sorry to disappoint you. And Stephen Cake is in the chat. Maybe Stephen will gonna join us. We haven't seen Stephen in forever, and I'm sure everybody would love to see Stephen. All right. Is it snowing? No, it's not snowing. It's Texas. It's been, it's usually close to 100 degrees here. Adam Scott will play in the JeffMara biopic. Do you want to see more? I love your channel. 40 minutes. And Steven says he can't get in. Well, Steven, what you do is you go to a meeting, you click join a meeting. You've been in many times. You should be able to get in. Maybe you couldn't get in earlier because all of a sudden, I'd never seen Zoom do that. But I guess since I was here with nobody, what Zoom did was Zoom started over.
But you pay for that.
Yeah, I'm a paid person of Zoom.
Somebody said free from illusions, right? Which is
So try it again, Stephen. What was that?
free from illusions.
Free from illusions?
Read her comment. The meeting. Free from illusions.
Point it to me. Oh, I think I'm like at a different spot. Maybe mine got messed up. Oh, there it is. The meeting ended exactly at 8:38. Plus, I noticed you have 238 subscribers. I've not noticed a lot of 38 symbolism lately. Interesting. I think that Tesla does 3, 6, and 9, but I don't know much about 38. Wonder if that means anything. I see that a lot. I see a lot of the repeating numbers, and I pointed out to my wife, and I think she's been surprised now that I keep pointing it out. Actually, today I saw 444. It says that the password is incorrect. It's case sensitive. So you have to be doing it just right. Oh, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it isn't right. Let me look at my... It feels like we're missing a letter or something here on the password. Let me check that password. Maybe that's why no one's been able to join me. Notes. Okay, the password. Yes, that's what it is. You got to add a 1 to the end. Good for pointing that out, Stephen. Thank you. And I will make a change here. If you've been trying to get in, that's why you couldn't. It has to finish with a number 1. D48XU1. That was the problem. And that was, if you weren't here in the beginning, I haven't done this in 6 months. It's been a while. And I set up the settings for the stream, but it didn't transfer from one thing over to another, and it didn't transfer over, and I was trying to talk and get this all set up from the beginning, and it's just it's not easy to talk and work on the YouTube at the same time. People are trying to come in Zoom, but the password isn't working. Julie, thank you. That you are exactly correct, and I've just corrected that. So hopefully people who want to get in will get in now, because now that I fixed it. Yeah, the password is capital D 48, capital X, lowercase u, and the number 1. I didn't have the 1 at the end. That was the problem.
Mario Taco, right?
Mario's Taco. I will try the email when I get it, when I can, but please don't make it public. Okay, so if you want me to put your story in the newsletter, make sure that you tell me, or tell me not to if you don't want it. And I wish I would have started that earlier, because a lot of people have written me their stories over the years. All right, it's working here. We got 2 people. So let's bring in Stephen first, because Stephen was the first person trying to get in and couldn't get in. And we haven't seen brother Stephen in forever. Stephen, it's great to see you, brother. Welcome
Well,
back.
hello, darling. How are you?
Hello there. I've been watching some of you. I saw some of your golf videos on TikTok, and you have a big following there. Congratulations.
Yes, I'm like a professional golfer now. I said I was granted, I said, a greater mind. All my abilities increased.
Uh-huh.
I said, if you put a genius on solving how to become good at golf, I did it. So,
Well, congratulations. Your room looks different. Did you move somewhere?
well, there's a window here.
Nice. Yeah.
I can view it there.
Yeah, you're in a completely different space than the last time I've seen you over the years. That's great. Are you still juggling?
Not as much. For 3.5 years, I learned a trick a day, and then I said that's when I went through the enlightenment.
Yeah.
And I was taken over. I said there's a greater power, and I thought I kind of like hit my limit for how good I would get, but it's like I could move faster. My reactions were quicker. I could learn quicker. Like everything just ramped up.
Uh-huh. Imagine if it was like you're in the Matrix, and your
I
arms
use that
would
analogy all the time. I said they put me in the training program. I said they mind jacked me.
Uh-huh.
I said it's kind of like the greater mind can use analogies, but you need to know the secret,
Right.
to unlock it. Otherwise, everyone's just guessing.
Yeah.
And so the Matrix is, I say, the Wizard of Oz was a big one too, because it's like you're meeting the Grand Wizard, but the Grand Wizard is actually Jeff Goldblum. He's a crazy guy, but he's not all powerful. He's a little zany. And that's one thing they did, is they showed me how they could take my voiceover and then like levels, like they could make you speak better. They can, and there's like foreign accent syndrome and all this other stuff going on. And I said, they mess with people. I said, they help people. I said, it's like we live in a bored God universe where it's just like, let's try this, let's try that.
Well, do you believe that well, let me tell you this, that I had a guest today, and this guest was telling me, I'll be publishing this in a couple days, that 96% of the people on the world are NPCs.
They can't think. I think that's what it is.
Non-player characters. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, there are people that believe that they call non-player characters, and they're just background people like in a video game on the earth. And he was going through the population. He said that in the 1600s or 1700s, we hadn't even reached 1 billion yet, and just between 2024 and now we've gone up through, I don't know what or 2020 to now we've gone up another 3 billion, and it's just the numbers are escalating too fast for people to be birthed. They're being created in pods.
Yeah, well, NPC was basically they repeat the same phrase over and over again. They're just like on the wheel, so to speak. They're not thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I was given this greater mind, and it's like it knows a lot more than we do, but it won't reveal. See, it's kind of like I say, it's like if you're being, I said, oh, we're all being duped, but then it's like, is there another dupe going on? You know, I said, they just want you to feel special. That's really what this is about. Because the greater mind, the way it speaks to me is it just kind of, it knows everything about me. And it knows a lot more than I do. And I said, like, it will reveal itself in its own way to you. Like, it's not the same for everyone. That's why I say it's like, that's your thing, this is my thing, and that's why you can never get everyone on the same boat because they're all having their own experiences.
Have you experimented with Chat GPT at all?
Yeah, I've been mostly talking to Grok.
Oh, that's what
but
I do.
I noticed that it sticks to the mainstream narrative. So I don't know if, and actually I thought about this. I said, the next world leader, or however, AI will be like an aura. Like, instead of just having a person, because it's like, you don't want just a person, you want a person with an aura.
Okay.
They
Kinda
like
an
to use that
energy
term
field.
too. Yeah. It's like, it's a greater aura. That's
Well, when many near-death experiencers say that they will be in this quantum realm during their NDE where all the information of the universe is there and they know everything. They just can't bring it back with them.
Well, see, what I found is that you don't know what you're being shown. It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You don't know how many rooms there are. You don't know how many things there are, but each one kind of plays into what you want. So they might want to know all the information. Someone else might want something else. So that's why it's always kind of unique. That's why it's like every experience mine is different. I had Mary speaking to me. That was my thing.
I remember in the beginning, because now I've known you for years, that you used to talk, when I first met you, that was the girl that had committed, who took her own life, that you used to have contact with her.
Yeah, so when I put her picture up on my bed, after a couple weeks, I would feel someone going around pressing down on my bed, and they would just go around. And then I would feel like someone is embracing me and to comfort us. Because I said, it's like this greater spirit knows when you're up, when you're down. It knows. And so it's like, but you don't know where it's coming from. Because this is why I say there's belief and there's phenomenon. Like, I had a vision of the future when I was depressed. I don't know what created that. Was that the greater mind? Is there like levels? There might be levels of our awareness. Like I'm trying to think, like, there's different ways you can have a thought. Like, there's like inner thoughts or inner knowings, like little thoughts, and then like bigger and bigger, and then like at a certain point you're just seeing it right there. When I was going through this enlightenment phase, I could look at something and see the numbers that so I was into Dr. Hawkins, and he had kinesiology numbers, and as far as I know, I don't know anyone else that could just see them. And I could see blessings, I could see curses.
I don't know if you have seen this in the videos, but sometimes these guests will say when they're having their NDE, their monkey mind goes away. All the mental chatter goes away. And I think about that from time to time, as like, is the mental chatter a product of the brain? And when you're free from the brain, all that goes away.
I think it's just part of us living this life is that there's always got to be, it's like, you know, the radio's got to be on, you know, the static's got to be on. It's like the background. It's not, from what I learned, is that it's not created in the brain, but it's like has to be correlated. Because people, that's all there is a correlation. It's like there isn't a left brain, right brain, but they correlate that. However they do. I was shown you could just, your skills could just go up, your abilities could go up.
Right. I had a medical doctor that was on. I think he was a near-death experiencer, but I think many people, including me, I know I believed this at one time, that all the input comes through your pineal gland. But this guy was telling me, no, all the input comes in your right brain, and it's just raw data. And then the left brain creates the story out of it. If that makes any sense to you.
Well, it like you just mentioned, it's like it has to be, our lives are kind of like a story, and it's all got to kind of fit together. Otherwise, we'll feel like we're out of reality. I said I felt like I was in a dual world. Like when you're having these experiences, like let's say coincidences can be ramped up. That's another thing. It's like you can't have too many coincidences, otherwise you'll think you're in like a fantasy world or something like that. So you got to have some here and there. It's just like the yin and the yang, the good and the bad. It's like if you get too much one way, it's bad for some reason. There's some kind of balancing act going on.
Yeah. There was a guest I had, a near-death experiencer last week, and a guest the very next day. And I love the synchronicities that I have between guests. But with both, we were talking that the future is already there. You're just collapsing it into your timeline, basically, and moving it backwards. Time is moving backwards. And that's why you think the deja vu is not that you've been there in a past life. It's already out there, and you're just pulling it into you.
Yeah, so I was shown that there is some kind of foreknowledge, but there's always a debate about how much free will we have in there.
Yeah.
But there is, because I was shown visions of the future. So either they knew the future, or they could manipulate it so it would happen. So it could be both or one of. This is what I was shown, is that it can be either way, and then we have our perception. So it could be like, are we thinking about what we want? But they did this is what the greater mind told me, is that people aren't aware that what you're working on is kind of like your future, whether you know it or not. So like I was out there practicing hitting golf balls, and whether I knew it or not, that my skill was going to ramp up. So it's like whatever you're working on, whatever you're putting your energy into, like whether you're aware of that or not.
So
it's like the 10,000 hours.
Are you mostly focusing on TikTok these days?
I'm just putting shorts up, basically.
So if people want to check out your stuff, should they go to TikTok, or do you still do YouTube too?
I do YouTube. I did some walk and talks on there, but I haven't done much recently.
That's what it's called. I was trying to remember I was thinking in the back of my head. I was going to say, are you still doing walks and talks? But I was like, is that Steven or someone else? That's cool.
So I was given this greater power so I could do that. Because I was just basically a shut-in. And I said, it's like they can kind of like flip you around too, like make you more extroverted. Like there's some kind of, and everyone knows that different parts in your life, things change. But I was just shown about, it's almost like there's all these switches and that they can just flip them. It's like there's this greater mind. I say it's like in us, around us. It's almost like the force, and it kind of, that's where a lot of these ideas come from, is this greater mind or whatever will just start giving people. And I say we all have our unique mind.
Yeah. Well,
but they told me that you have to do what you want, though, because that's kind of like the purpose of life.
I mean, if you want to get even deep about it, you can even ask yourself, where do even ideas come from?
Yeah, because you could keep pushing it back. You know, they say, well, if I say the greater mind, they say, well, what created the greater mind? Or like you said, it's like, which way did everything happen at once and then our perception is moving forward, or what's going on? We don't know. And that's kind of like how it's supposed to be, I think.
Right.
Because I said I could create a giant flow chart of beliefs and phenomenon, and like, okay, if this is true, and then it like would go tree off into this way or that way, you know, like. But I think that what it's doing is feeding into us. Yeah. See, it's not like an objective world where it's just like flat, plain. It's like it feeds into us. Like, are we? But that's part of they call the reality where it's like, you know, you have to live it.
Yeah.
Follow the yellow brick road. Have an adventure, and then eventually you're meeting very powerful wizards.
Yeah. Well, Stephen,
should do questions before I go, or just go?
I was gonna say I gotta do what I gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. You know. You know, are you gonna keep doing this?
I'm thinking I'll try again next month. I'm gonna do it once a month. I'm gonna call it Second Saturday, since today is the second Saturday. It's easy to remember, and it's been a great turnout so far. So we'll see how it goes. You know. Anyways, I'm into overtime, and I've got someone waiting on me. But it was great seeing you again, Stephen.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
All right. Take care. Oh, he's gone already. All right, we have Vanessa here. Let's bring her in. Vanessa Vega, how are you? Oh, she doesn't hear me yet. Vanessa Vega, welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you? What have you been up to?
Thank you. Oh, so much, Jeff.
Yeah? Tell us. What's new?
Oh, yeah, so much has been going on, you know. Well, I think it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
It's been a rocky year so far.
Yes. So much energy coming into Mother Earth that obviously all these flares, solar
flare, yes. Yeah, there's who's my guest that talks about that? She was on not too long ago. Is she calling it the solar flare or the solar flash? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What guest is her name? I can't remember her name. It's in the top of my tongue here, but I can't remember. The solar flash or the solar flare. Do you know what I'm speaking about? She was on not too long ago.
Schumann's resonance, you know, has been crazy. The frequencies. And obviously we live in a system.
It's Ann Tucker. That's who it is. Do you follow Ann Tucker?
Okay. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Oh yeah, wow, yeah. She's a medium, maybe a psychic medium, and she's been talking about this solar flash or solar flare that's coming.
Yes, most definitely. All this is you know, the universe and the universes, because they're more than, right? Everything is tethered. Everything reacts to each other. Everything is interconnected and is always one thing takes you to another. So all those solar flares definitely have impacted the human consciousness, because that is what our consciousness is made out of.
Right. Well, I guess she's talking about there's going to be some big event, maybe a solar flash, where it's going to be like a big event that's going to change the whole planet. Are you a psychic as well? And if so, what are you seeing that's coming?
Well, I definitely have all my psychic abilities came since I had that first, well, it wasn't my first actually, but that big event where you interviewed me about,
A couple years
that I
ago.
had back in 2017. Yes, but uh, but definitely ascension is all about opening, cracking up our the way the amount of the capacity we have to receive those light codes that are coming into the earth. That's what's all about.
Right.
And when you are ready to receive it, your consciousness and your psychic abilities or your comprehension of what you're doing here and what is this all about, right? Are going to be more, you're going to have more clarity. More light gives you more clarity, most, right?
Right.
More ability for you to see what you hadn't seen before. And so, yes, I do see the 5D is already here.
We're already in 5D.
We're already in 5D, yes.
But
It
why do
has
we feel like
the
things haven't
shift,
changed that
the
much?
shift, the shift. Well, you might think they haven't, but the truth is that yes, we're in it already. The shift is going on. It is an ongoing process. It's not like it started today and it's tomorrow, right? And it starts tomorrow. It's an ongoing process that's going to keep augmenting the human consciousness, because that is what 5D is truly about. It is about having more clarity about information that we didn't have before. And you speak about like disclosure, alien disclosure, and all this, right? And you interview, and we can see that already we are seeing a lot of truths, right, being shared that
Yeah.
previously, years back, we wouldn't speak about that in the way that we're speaking it today, right? We're talking about it today. And so that is what it is. It's information that we didn't have previously, to which we are being exposed to, and us as humans being more open to receiving and understanding that information, which before perhaps people that didn't believe, right, in this type of things are now more open and curious about. And as the 5D keeps on progressing, and we keep on progressing with it, because we're submerged, we are going to keep on receiving more information.
You know, you're in Port. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I want to let you finish this thought.
No, more information. We're going to be more open to the disclosure. More truths are going to be shared. But it happens when the collective is ready to receive it, right? Because otherwise we're gonna cause a short circuit in the system
Now
and the way that everything is.
Now you're talking about disclosure, and you live in Puerto Rico, right? Supposedly there's a lot of UFO activity there. Have you seen any UFOs in the sky?
Yeah. Well, I have had previously. One of the things that happened that came as after we spoke and you interviewed me, that awakening has kept on increasing for me, and more and more and more downloads of things that I previously wasn't awakened to about my own life came into clarity, because I had since being a kid, a child, I had experiences, but I had thought that I believed all my life that those experiences that I had, I had discarded them like they were dreams, or they were, you know, I didn't have the consciousness to understand what was it that I had experienced. So if you don't know, if you don't have contrast, right? And you don't have that clarity, that consciousness wasn't with me at that time. But now I know that, yes, I had experiences with aliens.
Do you think you've been
in one
abducted?
occasion, I had seen a UFO.
Do you think you've been abducted?
Well, I can tell you this. I had a lot of, I made, since a child, I did a lot of astral traveling. And I used to do it almost every single night. I thought I was dreaming. And when I had those, when I had those experiences, because they were experiences, I either traveled to far away places, right? And when I say far away, planets and experiences with, yes, with aliens. And I would have also experiences here, right, on Earth, that I would witness and live, and even past life experiences.
Okay.
So, and all this, again, was happening. I understood then, because consciousness is we are multidimensional, right? But just that in this plane where we are incarnated, it is a dense state. It is the solid state, okay? But when energy is in its natural plasma state, it is able, and when we are in that plasma state, which is the one that we return to when the body dies, and the one that doesn't ever die and stop having experiences, living and feeling and emoting, that part of us, right, which is what we call our higher self, our true selves, or the soul, or however you want to refer to it, right? That's what's going on. We return to that natural and organic state of light. That's why a lot of your NDEers, when you interview them, and if you observe all your interviews and study them deeply, all of them, even alien encounters, the one thing that is common to everybody, every one of them, is light. There's always some kind of light involved, right?
Right.
Whether it's orbs, whether it's the alien ships and their lights. So there's always, like, going back, right? The NDEs see the light at the end of the tunnel once they go through the void, or they see light beings, or they feel they are light, right? Because this is what Source is all about. Source is light. That's what it is. And everything is made out of this raw universal material. And that raw universal material has different, let's say, dimensions, right? It's multidimensional. And when we merge science and spirituality together, that's I would say, my purpose here, to merge those two, right? And give to something that is intangible, because light is intangible. We do feel it. We
Right.
just aren't aware that that's what it is.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
yes.
Well,
it is.
Vanessa, I'm sorry to stop you. I have to run here in a moment, but before I go, how do people find more about you? Don't you have a website?
I don't have a website. I do have the YouTube the
I thought you
YouTube
had
channel.
VanessaVega.com or something.
I have Evo Live,
Evo
Evo
Life.
Live 360 at gmail.com if
Oh,
they want to
okay,
write
if you
me.
want to write
But
her.
I have the channel, the
Oh.
YouTube channel.
Did you always have that?
Yes, the
All right.
YouTube and Facebook page, which are called the same way, Evo Live 360.
All right. And
All together.
if people want
Evo
to
Live.
ask you questions, can I leave you comments under
Yes,
your videos?
yes,
Or
sure.
just ask you on
I love that.
Facebook?
Yes. Either one. They can write me there or email me or whatever. But I would love, I just do those lives there so that people can join and we can talk about these things and understand
Right.
what's truly behind your living
Right.
and our purpose, with the purposes of understanding and connecting all those dots, right? Connecting all those dots together.
Do you do them in
And
both?
having,
Do you do your lives both in English and Spanish?
I do them both in
Oh, that's
English and
great.
Spanish.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I redo them. Yes, because, well, because of you, actually, because of you. Because once I interviewed with you, I had a lot of people from all over, and then so I had to start doing them for that public, and I wanted to share.
That's great.
Uh,
That's great. Well,
yeah,
all right, Vanessa. Well, it was great seeing you again. It's
I
been a long
love to see
time.
you.
I hope you're doing amazing. And I've got to run, but I miss you.
Take care.
Massive success with your channel and your Facebook page.
Thank you so much. You too.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Let me give her a big round of applause. And before I go here, my wife is showing me one last... it says, sounds silly, but ensure you've heard much crazier, but I submitted a request for Jeff and wifey to have their own positive and gentle ET encounter with my other worldly contacts anytime now. Awesome. Thank you. And Ayeli, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Thank you very much, Ayeli. I really appreciate it. Well, it turned out to be a really good night, and I think it was cool, and I think we should do it again. So if you guys can remember second Saturday, I'll put it in my calendar for the second Saturday of August to do this again, and I'll hopefully have the passcode right this time so people can get in, and we'll be even busier. And once again, I have something special going on my website. So if you get a chance, check out my website, JeffMaraPodcast.com, and that's it. Thank you guys for coming and sharing with us and having such a cool night. We wish you the best, and we love you guys.